Hi, this is Dr. Chetana Kripalu. Welcome to Angel Wing. I'm trying to give you a summary of how an ideal day could look like. For those who have been through this 4 week course, you should be able to get an idea about what we talked about and how these tools, when you use them and incorporate them in your daily schedule, it would be a big benefit to you. You've already used them and you know that it's beneficial. I think most of the people who came to the last class did use them and found it very, very useful to stay calm and serene through the day. So when you wake up in the morning, I would suggest wake up 15 minutes early than your normal schedule. If you wake up at 5, just say 4:45. If you wake up at 6, just 5:45. Ideally, you would just go brush your teeth, set up a space, even in your bedroom if it's too much to go out of the room. Or if you have a space in the next room or anything like that, go to your space, take a seat, sit on a chair, or if you want to sit on the floor on a rug, preferably like a woolen blanket, because it helps you not being absorbed by the earth vibrations. The earth vibrations are actually good for you, but when you meditate, it's sometimes hard to focus and go deeper. So that's why it's good to use a woolen blanket. It's kind of like an insulation. And when you sit, the most important thing is your posture. You want to sit straight with your spine erect, enough that it's not uncomfortable, but you don't want to be slouching or leaning back or anything like that. If you want, you can, if you're in a chair, you can sit with a cushion behind your lower back if it helps. Then place your palms either turned down or up, whatever feels comfortable for you. And then close your eyes. Find a point in your body or in your forehead and start meditating. And that's usually the posture. Now, the first 5 minutes, my suggestion would be gratitude. And this can be spoken aloud or in your mind. And obviously, if you're going to journal, then the posture comes next for the next 5 minutes. But that 5 minutes, the first 5 minutes is usually, I would suggest doing a gratitude session. And it could be anything you're grateful for. The easiest part is because you're usually grateful for things which has happened already. So what this does, like I had suggested in the previous video, is it just raises your vibration. Then the next 5 minutes would be your meditation. You can choose any of the techniques which you think works for you. And then the next 5 minutes is to set an intention for the day or visualization. Usually when you visualize, it's a little difficult in the beginning because you have to really think about it and introspect of what you actually want to see in the next week, in the next month, whatever your goal is. So it's easier in the beginning to set an intention. Say, how do I want my day to look like? What do I want to feel at the end of the day, and feel it right then. So it's important to visualize in the present tense because everything is in the present and in the now. So what this 15 minutes will do is really raise your vibration and integrate your energies. So that would be the 15 minutes. Ideally, if you can do or take literally 5 minutes or even less of the Dana Eden's 5-minute energy workout, that is fantastic. If you can incorporate that, then you go about doing whatever you're doing, and during the day, get ready. If you have kids, get them ready. Get them to school, go to work, and during your day, the first break you may want to say maybe at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. Set a timer or a reminder actually, which I had suggested even in the classes, would be the mindfulness bell app. It has a bell which rings every couple of hours. If you set it to every couple of hours, I would suggest that. And when it goes off, it's like a singing bowl bell. So when the bell goes off, it goes off for a bit of time. I think it's about 30 seconds or 1 minute. And then you can use that as your interval to take deep breaths or meditate. Now, the heart focus technique, which is just breathing, really is very easy to do. You don't even have to close your eyes, really. So that's why you can pretty much do anywhere, and over time you'll learn how to do it with open eyes, and nobody needs to know that you're doing it. But that's your cue for doing that. So let's say it's about 3 or 4 times during the day. That would be the best way to use that. And then when you get back from work, again, take another minute when you get back home to kind of get yourself together, do some breathing. If you have kids, maybe you can involve them. And it's nice to involve all of them, the whole family, to do 5 minutes of meditation or breathing before you eat a meal. That would be fantastic. And then after the meal, whatever you have to do, wind up, do homework with the kids, or if you don't have kids, whatever that you have to do. When you retire to bed, ideally, you do not want to watch too much TV a couple of hours before bedtime. Essentially, you're winding down without any stimulation. So no technology, ideally no iPhone, iPad, or any of them. And go to bed at a good time. I would say maybe around 9:30 or 10. And wind down with a nice book, put some nice music. You could put some nature sounds. There is something called binaural beats or tripinaural beats, which has a certain music at a particular frequency, which allows your brain waves to come down to the delta wave, which is what is the wave we are supposed to experience, or the brain is supposed to be in before sleep. And this is very important to meditate at this time for 5 minutes before you go to bed, because this is the time, or this is the brain state when you can do powerful subconscious programming or reprogramming. So that is the time you really take to do affirmations, what you want to see happen, all the positive things you're reading and feeling. And that way it helps your subconscious know that this is what I want to be. And then you go to sleep. Usually a quality of sleep also improves when you do this. And once you wake up in the morning, you will, or almost, I would say 90% of the time, you would wake up with serenity, calmness. So now when you do the 15-minute routine, it's just easier for you to do the meditation, the gratitude, whatever you want to do. And when you have this schedule, which is kind of an ideal schedule, and you might wonder, how am I going to do all this in a day? It's not difficult. It's just reminders, and those reminders are really for 30 seconds to a minute. You can always take deep breaths. Everybody needs to breathe. So I feel like this is not tough. If you put that in your schedule and you get into the habit, you're going to see huge improvement. There's a lot of scientific studies to actually prove this, even in Heart Math Institute and everything, how they have done research to say that people who had depression, anxiety, even medical physical problems, they have really gotten better with time and sincere and perseverance and persistent effort to keep a schedule. So I think this is what my ideal day would look like. It's a suggestion. Hopefully this is helpful. And of course, if you have any questions, please email us at Angel Wing. Thank you.